Good morning. Today, I'd like to share a story with you which was inspired by an organization called She Phoenix. She Phoenix works with teenage moms and helps them get their lives back on track after they've gone through the tragedy of giving birth while underaged. Once upon a time, in the small town of Nikoi, in the West African country of Gabon, there was a 17-year-old young man called Obiang. Obiang was the firstborn of his family, and as is customary in his tribe, the Yamasoma, he was the pride and hope of his family. He did well at school. He took care of his younger siblings and helped his father with manly chores around the house. What a fine young man he was, most people would agree. Just 2 kilometers away from Obiang's home, in the small village of Azap, lived Nikoi, a 15-year-old young girl from the Eba tribe. Nikoi was beautiful, helpful, intelligent. She was the only daughter of her parents, and her father harbored the dream that one day Nikoi would get married to a doctor, give them lots of grandchildren, and live a happy and dignified life. Obiang and Nikoi had never met. They both went to Toye High School, her in grade 10 and him in grade 12. One day, at the school year-end party, they met for the first time and immediately hit it off. They exchanged numbers as most teenagers would do, started texting and hanging out at school. They kissed once in one of the classrooms of the school. It was the first time for Nikoi, who couldn't wait to tell her friends all about it. One of her friends, Nkene, was secretly in love with Obiang too. And one day, as Nikoi was walking to her next class, Nkene caught up with her and told her that Obiang, in fact, had another girlfriend. A real girlfriend, she stressed. So Nikoi asked, "What is a real girlfriend?" To which Nkene naturally responded, "Well, it's one who does it with him." And Nkene went on to add that unless Nikoi does it too with him, she is nothing but a toy that Obiang plays with when his real girlfriend is not available. Nikoi felt very hurt at the idea of being a toy and not a real girlfriend, so she began to nourish the idea of doing it too with Obiang. On the last day of the school term, she did it. It was nothing like in her dreams, but at least now she was a real girlfriend and no longer a toy. The school break went by and Obiang and Nikoi continued to text throughout without seeing each other. When the school resumed, they were both eager to finally meet again. Obiang had told his dad all about Nikoi, except for the doing it part, of course, and they were proud and happy for him. Nikoi did not say a word to her parents as she knew they would not approve. And so went their relationship for another 2 months, until Nikoi one day realized that her stomach was unusually big. She panicked and told Obiang. To her surprise, he did not reply. In fact, he stopped texting her altogether and started avoiding her at school. That's when the devastating truth hit her. She was pregnant. Her heart nearly stopped at the thought of how her parents would react. She had brought shame to her family. She was a horrible daughter. She did not deserve to live. That evening at home, she would not stop thinking about how she got herself into this mess and how she would get out of it. She went to bed without eating, pretexting a stomach bug. She did not sleep. She could not sleep. She took a pen and paper and wrote a long letter of apology to her parents. Right before she took all 60 tablets of the stomach ache medicine that her mother had given to her. The next morning, her lifeless body was found on the bedroom floor, right next to the letter. Obiang heard the news 3 days later. He felt sad and guilty for a few weeks, but got better with time. He went on to finish his studies, graduated from the University of Batam, the local town, and is now working for a top law firm in the city. Nikoi is dead. The story of Nikoi and Obiang is a fiction, but it may as well not be. It is the story of many young African boys and girls. It is the story of the imbalances that exist in our society when it comes to teenage pregnancy. The same imbalances are clear in how we address this problem. We almost naturally assume that the responsibility of avoiding pregnancy, and therefore the burden of being pregnant, should be borne by the girl and the girl alone. Little to no pressure is exerted on young boys. Our young girls' lives stop, literally or figuratively, with them falling pregnant, as our boys live on and prosper. We parents are responsible for this. The pride we feel as our sons tell us about having a girlfriend at school, and the shame we feel as our daughters tell us the same news, are testimony of this responsibility. Our silence as we passively watch our young girls' lives destroyed by an innocent mistake they made with our sons who walk free makes us guilty